Hey there, Brian Deckard here from Deckard Company. We are a small boutique marketing agency located in the beautiful city of Bradenton, Florida, just south of Tampa on that beautiful Gulf Coast of Florida. So, what are we talking about in this week's episode of Business Focus Friday? Well, Digital Pulse. We're talking about, did Google spill the beans, give a blueprint on what data its AI engine is using? Well, they sure the hell did. And then in our tips and tricks, we're actually getting a double feature today. We're talking about a plugin that you can put on your website to protect yourself and help against those unwanted spam stuff that you're getting from your website, whether it be from a contact form, if you have an e-commerce site, a sale, registrations, you name it. A great plugin, WP Armour. Amazing. But then we're also going to be talking about analytics again. So some great alternatives to Google Analytics. Because hey, Google Analytics, when you log into that thing and look at it, if you don't know what you're doing, you're pretty much overwhelmed. So we're going to get to go over that stuff today in Business Focus Friday. So thanks a lot. And why don't we get into it right here? Okay, so in this week's Digital Pulse, we are going to talk about Google again and AI. So more specifically, here it goes. Google told us how AI picks local businesses. Yeah, they sure did. Google doesn't usually hand over the blueprint, right? Hardly ever, but they kind of just did. So in a recent small business newsletter, Google openly explained what its AI actually looks at when deciding which businesses show up in their AI-powered search results. And that's a big deal. And here's why. So because AI results are quickly becoming the first thing people see when they search for local services in, say, Bradenton, Sarasota, Anna Maria Island, or elsewhere, we've been talking about AI summaries and AI mode searches for months now. And this is exactly why. So if you care about getting found locally, which of course you do, understanding how Google's AI ranks businesses is no longer optional, it's essential. So let's break down the top 5 ways to stand out in Google. Okay, so number 1, upload images and videos regularly. So Google's AI doesn't just read text. It looks for context, right? Photos and videos help AI understand what your business actually looks like, how you operate, and what customers can expect. That visual proof builds trust with Google and with real people. So if your competitors are posting fresh images and videos and you are not, you're already behind that proverbial 8 ball, right? Okay, number 2, fully optimize your Google business profile. So list everything. So your services, your specialties, price ranges, unique attributes like, do you offer emergency weekend service? Is financing available? That kind of stuff, right? If it's not in your profile, Google AI cannot recommend you for it, period. So remember that. So the businesses winning in AI search are the ones that are fully built out, optimized, not half-finished profiles that haven't been touched in 2 years or more. Yeah. Okay, number 3, we want to get more reviews and respond to those reviews. And reviews are hard to get. We get that. Google's AI heavily weighs customer feedback. And that's a fact. So reviews aren't just social proof anymore. They're ranking signals. So encourage your happy customers to leave a review, to leave those reviews and do it consistently and always respond professionally. Engagement matters, activity matters, and recency matters. So a stagnant profile looks like a stagnant business. Number 4, so make sure Google can actually see your website content. So if Google can't crawl it, AI can't use it. What does this mean? So no hiding important info in images only, right? No thin service pages, and no vague descriptions. Yeah, be a little more specific on those descriptions. Create content-rich pages that clearly explain what you do and where you do it. And if you're using structured data, make sure it matches what's actually visible on the page. Transparency builds trust with users, and believe it or not, with AI. So number 5 here is keep your business information consistent everywhere. Everywhere. So Google's AI pulls data from multiple trusted sources. So if your name, address, and phone number, so there's that NAP we always talk about, or the service descriptions don't match across all these different things like your website, your business profile, online directories, all it's going to do is it's going to create confusion. And confusion lowers trust. Consistency strengthens authority. So AI isn't some future trend we're waiting on. It's here. It's already deciding which local businesses get shown and which ones get skipped. So Google is leaning hard into AI-driven results, and those results pull directly from your Google business profile and your broader online presence. So those directories and stuff like that you belong to. If your profile isn't fully optimized, consistently updated, and strategically managed, you are quietly losing ground to competitors who are taking this very seriously. So the good news is you don't have to manage all of this manually. You don't. Here at Deckard Company, we do help local businesses stay ahead of AI search, not just react to it. From fully optimized Google business profiles to content-rich websites and consistent local SEO, we make sure that Google's AI sees you as the authority in your market. So if you want to win in AI-powered local search, now's the time to act, not 6 months from now when your competitors are already, they may already have that competitive edge. So there you go. So that is this week's Digital Pulse. Hey there, welcome to Tips and Tricks. Yeah, so today's kind of like a double feature when it comes to tips and tricks. So we're going to talk about 2 different things. One is, are you getting tired of those spammy emails coming from your website, whether it be from a form or registration or even an e-commerce transaction? We got you covered there. But then we also are going to talk about some alternative ways to collect website data other than using Google Analytics. And we're going to go over that right now. So why don't we get into it? All right, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is this plugin called WP Armour. Are you getting flooded with those annoying spam emails from your website? You probably are. Are fake form submissions or even false orders clogging up your online store? So if that sounds familiar, you are not alone. And that's a fact. And the good news is, hey, we've got a solution just for you. Okay, so here at Deckard Company, we have been testing this powerful WordPress plugin called WP Armour Honeypot Anti-Spam. And we've tested this across multiple websites. and the results have actually been really good, like outstanding good, believe it or not. So what does it do? So it quietly blocks spam in the background. So no annoying captchas, no extra steps for your customers, just clean, secure forms, well, that actually work. And that's kind of a cool thing, right? Yeah, we all love those forms that actually work. So if you're tired of wasting time dealing with bots and bogus submissions, we highly recommend installing this plugin on your WordPress website. It's simple, it's effective, and it just works like right out of the box. You install it and it just works. So just what is this WP Armour? So what it is, it's a honeypot anti-spam plugin. So it's a lightweight WordPress plugin that protects your site from spam by simply using the honeypot technique. What is the honeypot technique, you ask? So it's adding hidden form fields that real users, well, we just don't see it, but the spam bots do, and then the spam bots will fill that sucker out, and then it'll allow the plugin to block those automated submissions without annoying captchas or any extra steps. So once it's activated, it just works automatically across comments, registrations, and many other popular form types to silently reduce the spam while keeping the user experience clean. So we highly encourage you that if you have a WordPress website, get this plugin. It really is a fantastic plugin. All right, so we're going to talk WordPress analytics. So how about we talk the analytics? Because if you are running a website and not tracking the data, what's happening on it, you're basically flying blind. Now, most people start with Google Analytics, and for good reason. It's the biggest name in the game, right? It's the most powerful, it's free, and it gives you access to some an insane amount of data. With Google Analytics, you can see where your traffic is coming from, how many or how the people move through your website, so those visitor journeys, what pages convert, what devices they're using, pretty much everything. Yeah. So for large companies and advanced marketers, it's like having the cockpit of a jet plane at your fingertips or your eyesight, whatever. But here's the downside. For most small businesses and even many agencies today, Google Analytics can feel a little overwhelming because or between Google Analytics 4, that GA4, custom events, dashboards, and reports, it's easy to get lost in those weeds, right? You don't just open it and understand it. You usually need training, experience, or a lot of trial and error. So while while Google Analytics is incredibly powerful, it's not always the most user-friendly option. And that's where independent analytics comes in. And honestly, this is why we love it for our WordPress and SEO clients. Independent analytics is built specifically for WordPress users. It lives right inside your WordPress website's dashboard. No jumping between platforms, no complicated setup, no confusing reports. You log in and boom, you instantly see your traffic, your top pages, your refers, where do the people come from, your campaigns, your conversions, all in plain English. It's lightweight, fast, privacy friendly, and it doesn't slow your website down. And that's important for business owners who actually want to use their data, not just collect it. Independent analytics It's a game changer. From an agency standpoint, it's always fantastic because our clients can log in and understand like immediately what's working and what is not. No training required, no tech headache. It's a win-win. It's simple, clean, practical, which is exactly what most businesses need or organizations. So now let's talk about another alternative. And this is called Plausible Analytics. So Plausible is all about privacy and simplicity. In a world where people are more concerned than ever about tracking, cookies, data collection, Plausible takes a different approach. It's lightweight, it's GDPR friendly, and doesn't rely on invasive tracking. So you get a clean, minimal dashboard that shows you page views, visitors, sources, devices, countries, no clutter, no fluff, just the essentials. Plausible is perfect for if you care deeply about user privacy and want something transparent and ethical. It's especially popular with tech-savvy brands, bloggers, and businesses or organizations that want clean data without compromising trust. Yeah, I think that's pretty good, right? The trade-off, it's not as deep as Google Analytics. You won't get the same advanced segmentation and custom reporting. But for many people, that's actually a plus. So when you compare all three, here's how it really breaks down. Google Analytics is the powerhouse. It's the big dog on the block, best for big data, advanced tracking, enterprise level reporting. Independent Analytics is the WordPress native hero. It's best for small businesses or organizations, SEO clients, and anyone who wants simple, actionable insights right inside their site. Plausible is the privacy first minimalist, best for clean analytics, ethical tracking, and distraction free reporting. And this is why in our workflow, we don't treat analytics as a one size fits all. Yeah, of course we use Google Analytics. Yes, it's important. But for day-to-day monitoring, client transparency, and SEO performance tracking, independent analytics gives us and our clients exactly what we need without the confusion. And for privacy-focused projects, Plausible is an excellent alternative. At the end of the day, analytics isn't about collecting more data. It's about understanding your audience. It's about making better marketing decisions. It's about seeing what's working and fixing what is not. And when you choose the right tool for your business analytics, analytics stops being intimidating and starts becoming one of your most powerful growth assets. Great, so here we are. We're with Hannah Wallace. She is our wordsmith / copywriter extraordinaire. So Hannah, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Hello, yes, I am Hannah Wallace. I've been writing professionally for, 25 years now. I've done a lot of lifestyle journalism, and I do a lot of marketing copywriting now, and been working with Brian for, wow, how long? Like 8 years,
Ever.
maybe? Yes,
Ever.
it feels like forever. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, and I do some social media. I do a lot of blog copywriting for a variety of clients. Sometimes special jobs. Writing copy for websites is a big one. Just in general, anything with the words is what I say. Anything with the words.
I love that. Yes. And that's why you are a true wordsmith.
Yes, I like
I
it.
love that. Yeah. Whenever I talk to clients, that's always how I introduce you, believe it or not. Yeah. She's our wordsmith.
I
And
yeah,
they
I'm,
understand that.
I'm good with that title. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Yeah, because they understand that. They don't understand copy. What's copy? And then you have to
Yeah, that's true.
explain to them what that is. Yeah. So, but they understand the word word.
If they need the
All right.
words, they come to me.
That's correct. Yes. And when they want it done right, right? Yeah. And that's,
Yes, absolutely. That's yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And that's what we're going to talk about today
Mhm.
is we're going to talk about content marketing and what it's all about and where you come into play when it comes to that stuff. So
Yeah,
this is going
absolutely.
to
Because I
be,
think a lot of people, this is one of those things that maybe people think designing a website is a little bit out of their ability, but they do tend to
mm,
think that they can just throw some words together. And certainly, there's a lot more power for your marketing buck that you
yeah.
can get out of using a professional writer.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too, is now that AI is out there, everybody's starting to use that. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah, and
I
for
mean,
me,
you can
that's
tell.
and I understand because I think there are a lot of people who really struggle with getting started on
Hmm.
writing, but
Yeah.
boy, I'm not one of them. And for me,
Yeah.
that's just more effort in editing that and double checking the information than just
Yeah.
putting the
Right.
stuff together myself.
Yep. Now I will admit that I do use AI, but I use it to get, like you said, get me started. I'll come up with so like a podcast. I'll say this is what I want my podcast to be, and I go give me some structure, and it gives me
Right,
the structure that I'm looking for, and then I can fill in the blanks.
right.
So that, yeah, I don't, yeah, copywriting for AI for copywriting. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
mean, if
don't
you
know.
can find the right way to harness it, for sure, it can be helpful and facilitating.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the final product still has to be come down to a human.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Put it in front of a human. Let them
Yes.
edit it. Yeah, because we do offer that service now. Where they'll send me something and I'll do a quick. They nobody sent me anything where I'm like, oh, this is a Hannah project. But I can go
Well,
through and I've got the basics. Yeah,
I've
I
seen
can.
some of the things that you get sent, so yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, and even my goofy butt can. Oh yeah, we need to restructure this a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to
it
fix
is.
things. Yeah.
It is. Yes, it is. Okay, so Hannah, so I've come up with a few questions for you. Are you ready for these things?
Shoot, I hope so.
We're we're about to find out. But hey, that's what podcasts are all about. And this is okay. So real quickly, I'm going to go on a tangent. So I'm one of those. Yeah, this podcast goes into post edit, right? But I don't like doing hard cuts. So usually what you see is what you get. And that's what I love about these podcasts that I do. So we're not going to see a bunch of, going down then right into something else. You're like, wait, what? What
Especially
did
when
we
you're not.
miss?
I mean, you don't have filler images to use, so it's just going to be one of us
Yep.
jumping around.
Ding, bah. Yeah, and I do that a lot. So okay. So let's get into this. All right. So number one, what separates good copy from copy that actually drives sales and conversions? So why it works.
Sure. I think one of the things that's always going to factor in here is keywords. And that's something that you and I work together with because that's
Mhm.
somewhat your specialty as far as what's actually being effective. Those are
Right.
statistics that you can check.
Hmm.
Um, but the other thing is, I think too many people, especially if they're not proficient writers, are going to rely too heavily on the keywords. And then the copy itself comes out awkward and it winds up not
Hmm.
being something that actual human beings want to read and can enjoy. And I think you really need both. I mean, yes, you're definitely trying to get the Google machine to pay attention to the copy and drive traffic, and
Right.
that's what the keywords do. But then when people get there, I think that they need to see something that's actually engaging, somewhat conversational, that really represents your company.
Right.
Because if I go to a website and I see something that is just obviously written just to get me to click on the link,
Hmm.
I'm bouncing right back off that website,
Yep.
and that's gonna affect the obviously the effectiveness of that
Hmm.
copy. So it's
Yep.
finding that balance between incorporating the keywords
Mhm.
into a more readable, entertaining, informative thing that your prospective clients are going to want to read.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was pretty well said. because it all comes down to like when I send you, we're doing an article. We do a lot of articles for fishing charters, right?
That's right. Yep.
So we need to target this key phrase, and you do the research, and you come up with the words, right? You put it out there, and you're bringing in that brand's voice, right? That
Hmm.
brand consistency is what we're looking for.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that the collaborative process really is important. I mean, we have a variety of collaborations and levels of collaboration with clients, from virtually nothing to really having conversations with people on a monthly, sometimes more frequently basis. And
Yep.
having those conversations is what helps me get a sense of what the voice of the company is.
Yeah.
The same thing with what the copy is that they have on their website. But if that copy is kind of stilted, it could be hard to kind of decipher what, something that's actually engaging as opposed to
Mhm.
just straight up business like. Depending on the
Yep.
business, of course. In the fishing charters, you want to be friendly because that's a real people business.
Right.
Other things might be more on the professional side of things.
Yeah. And on that, because several times you've come to me and said, the stuff on this website doesn't make sense, you know?
Yes.
And then I go and look at it, and I'm like, wow. And then I have to reach out to the client. And this would be like a client that we didn't create their content. It's just we inherited it, right? We inherited it. And you look at it and you're like, yeah, we got to redo this.
Yeah, and it can be
So,
especially frustrating when things aren't updated
mhm.
on a frequent enough basis. If people have changed their services, if they have more
Yep.
services that aren't included on there, because if we're not really collaborating a lot with the client, sort of in person or over the phone or over the
Right.
project management side, then how can I get information? I can get information about the industry through research,
Right.
but if it's hard to find information on their company if the website
Hmm.
isn't up to date.
Right. And that even goes as far as hours of operation.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah, just basic
Yeah.
things because I don't. And again, if we're not really collaborating closely and we're just posting without their
Yep.
seeing it first, I don't want things to go on there that are inaccurate. But it's hard
Yeah.
otherwise to get information. So I actually
Correct.
really
Yeah.
like that we have a lot of clients who want to review the copy beforehand because then
Yeah.
I can rest assured that I'm getting their industry correct because they're the experts ultimately. So
Mhm.
I might be the one who can do the
Yep.
words, but they're the one who have the actual information about the industry.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So let's move on because we got a few more questions to get through here. Okay. So, and I apologize now just in case it happens if I cough. I'm fighting that sickness that's going around. So I'm just going to apologize now in advance because I can see me hacking or something later. So anyway, all right. So let's get into question number two. So question number two is, how do you adapt your copy for different platforms like websites, blogs, social media, and email without losing that brand voice?
Yeah, I think other some people might have different approaches to this. For me, it's a matter of the level of conversationalism. How conversational are you being? And it's also obviously there's a you're dealing with length. Social media is going to be very short.
Mhm.
Websites can go on for blogs. We're usually aiming for between 600 and 1,000 words. But I think your website is going to be probably the most formal voice that your company can. It can still be fun, but it's
Yep.
going to be the most formal. Slightly more
Right.
conversational is going to be blogs because they are going to be a little longer in some cases, and
Mhm.
it's more of an opportunity for a regular conversation with your readers, your clients. And social media is really conversational. Obviously, that's where you really have
Right.
fun, and that's how you engage people, and you speak naturally. You can use emojis.
Mhm.
That's how you best harness that particular platform. And
Yeah.
email, I mean, that depends on the context and who you're emailing. If you're emailing customers, as far as like e-newsletters, that can
Mhm.
be super conversational. But in other
Right.
contexts, it's going to be probably a little more straightforward.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. you know, and when we talk about, the whole content for websites, in articles, and people always ask, well, why do I have to do that? It's like,
Sure.
well, it's not because we just want to do it. Yes, you want your website followers, your visitors to be able to understand what it is you do, products, services, whatever, what you have to offer. You can go in a little bit more in depth, but the real reason that we do these articles is to make your website bigger with more content, content rich, so that that Google machine, indexes that content for someone looking for whatever that article is talking about. You just might pop up in that search result.
And it's absolutely an opportunity to get more
Yes.
keywords hosted on your website. But
Yep.
also, I think isn't it the fresh content, the new content, because your
Yes.
content isn't
Yes.
updated on a regular basis. That's going to deprioritize your website.
Yep. Yep. And Google looks at that. They don't want a static website.
Sure.
Something that, and a lot of business owners, they don't know, right? They just
Set it
don't
and
know.
forget it. They kind of just set it up
That
and then let it go.
that's
Yeah.
what they think. Yeah. Back in the day, it was, hey, you build it, they will come. Yeah, it's not that way
Sure.
anymore.
Well, there's a lot more competition now, so
Yes.
and this is
Yeah.
one way to really keep on top of the competition. But also, words are fairly, I mean, affordable, more efficient
Yep.
way of doing that. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people don't have the time to go out and take a lot of pictures, do a lot of videos. Videos are
Right.
fantastic, but I
Hmm.
think a lot of business owners will see that as time consuming and expensive, but you
Right.
get a lot of results just from getting those keywords on there and getting that copy on there.
Hmm.
And also, when
Yep.
people are searching for things, they're not necessarily just looking for a business, they are looking for information. And so that's
Hmm.
why it's great to have articles that are informative and things
Yep.
that they might click on and read and then click around and learn more
Hmm.
about your business. It's a great introduction.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100% on that. Yep.
And it's
Absolutely.
also building trust, I think, is a big deal. I think
Yeah.
if you're just using marketing as a gimmick to get people's attention,
Hmm.
people can sense that and they're not going to trust your business. But if they see that you are
Right.
sincerely trying to communicate
Hmm.
about your industry and what you do, I
Right.
think that's part of earning trust.
Yeah. Earning trust and becoming that authority in whatever it
Yes,
is you're providing. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. That
Absolutely.
knowledge.
Yep. Okay. So here we go. Question number 3. So when creating content for SEO and AI search, right? So how do you balance the optimization with writing for real humans?
Again, we touched on this a bit in the first question. I think
Yep.
it's just that matter of we have keywords that Google and AI are looking for, but we don't want those keywords to jump out and be awkward. And sometimes that can be tricky
Correct.
depending on how the keywords are worded. To put them into sentence form, you
Hmm.
just don't want it to seem forced, and you also don't want it to be too repetitive.
Right.
And that's something that some people who don't understand
Hmm.
keywords, in some cases they might think, well, why do you have to keep saying the location? It's like, well, we need to get the location in there at
Right.
least a couple of times, but we can't just do it
Hmm.
constantly because the reader is going to
Correct.
know that that's a gimmick.
Yep.
So it's yeah,
Um,
it really is. For me, everything is sort of intuitive, but it's about almost hearing the article and does it sound
mhm.
natural? Does it sound smooth and clear? And if we can slip those keywords in there, kind of real easily, then I think I will have done my job.
Right. Yeah. And not only do readers see that as, oh, this is gimmicky,
Hmm.
Google sees that as keyword stuffing, and that's bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad that they have picked up on that because you don't want to see people getting
Yeah.
rewarded for sort of taking those shortcuts.
Yeah.
I wonder if we shouldn't also talk just a little bit about what keywords actually are, because we're throwing that around a lot, and I think
Yeah.
that,
Absolutely.
and I think from my perspective, and you can go into
Hmm.
this in more detail, but it's
Sure.
about well, it's essentially things that people will search for, the actual words that they'll use. And
Yes.
it tends to be something about the industry or the service
Hmm.
as well as the location. Whoever is, if
Yep.
they're searching, I'm searching in Sarasota, so I might say,
Right.
dry cleaners
Hmm.
Sarasota.
Hmm.
And so those are the phrases that are going to kind of help drive traffic to the website.
Yep. Well, you're on it. Yeah. That's 100%. And when it comes down to, oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, you usually work with the clients right off the bat to
Yes.
get a sense of their keywords and what their services are, right?
Yep. So it usually happens, in the beginning we have that discovery phase that I'm doing that initial research. What do you guys as the client think your keywords are? Then I pull it over into the platform of my choice and I start researching so said keywords. And then we come up with the key phrases, right? So what are people actually typing into the query?
Right.
And when that process starts to roll, it's like, okay, so now we need to bring these keywords, and when we give them to you, it's like, this is the phrase that we're looking for, because
Cool.
in 30 days this key phrase, oops, sorry, this key phrase might be mentioned or might be searched for 500 times. And
Hmm.
that's the key phrase we want to go for. We don't want to go for the key phrase that might be searched for 10 times or less,
Yeah, and
right?
it's really interesting. I really love going to the website report that you have,
Yep.
the analytics, and I
Mm-hmm.
can click on the keywords and get a list of keywords that these clients have come up with. And there are some that
Right.
I might think are really. I was like, oh, that makes sense that people would search for that. But I look, and in the last 30 days, it'll have a zero, goose egg,
Yeah.
next to it. So it's like, well, I'm not going to focus on that because if nobody's searching for it, it's not going to drive
Correct.
traffic.
Yep.
And then also we get little reports on how well those keywords are doing, and
Mhm.
if I haven't used one in a while, I'll try and boost it back up there.
Yep.
So
Yep. And
that's
that's exactly right. Yeah. You kind of go down the list. You hammer, 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 and then come back around and do, 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 do.
exactly. Yep.
Yep. Yep. That's pretty much the way we're like a typewriter, real typewriters.
Yeah, but also I guess that's another thing with coming up with blog topics is that
Mhm.
you don't want every blog to be the same. You want to kind of touch
Right.
on different topics
Mhm.
every month or every couple of
Yep.
weeks, however it is. And it's just sometimes that can be a struggle depending on the industry and how familiar I am with the industry. And other
Mhm.
times it's really great because we'll have a client that just says, "Okay, this month this is what we're focusing on," so
Yep.
they give it to me. But it's
Yep.
again, people are going to see that list of stories
Mhm.
on your website, and you want to go look and see that there are different topics all the way
Right.
down, and not just again that kind of gimmicky sense of just writing blogs just to write blogs because
Right.
that's a little obvious in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yep. And the best part about the whole thing that you just said is by the end of it, you become very knowledgeable about their
Yes,
business.
who knew I would know this much about pool cleaning and roofing as I do now? That's
Yep. Right. It's like, I'm a professional now.
exactly.
Ah,
I do like it. The
yeah.
fishing charters are really fun. It's great to learn more about the fish that are around.
Yeah. Well, I'm working on another one of those. So just be
Oh,
prepared.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
that'll
something
be
that
fun.
appeals. I would say that's what's so similar to my journalism background is that's
Hmm.
writing about all kinds of different topics, and really by the end you become an expert because you have to
Yeah.
understand what you're writing about in order to communicate
Yep.
it to other people.
Yep. That you do. That you do. It's like whenever I'm building websites out, it's like, oh, well, now I know all about that.
Exactly. Who knew? Yeah.
Yeah. Who knew? Huh. Okay. So let's move on. So what we'll talk about now is here's the question. Can you walk us through your process of turning a client's raw ideas into compelling marketing content?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said before, the collaboration is there. I think sometimes we
Hmm.
don't even have the raw ideas from the clients, and that can be a
Yeah.
real struggle. And I'll just
Challenge.
say
Right.
from that point of view, in those situations, it's a matter of looking for blogs in that industry and seeing what
Hmm.
other companies that do the same thing are writing about, and then going from
Right.
there. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, I think a lot of people, again, we have just totally different levels of collaboration with depending on the client. So some people will just say, "Why don't you write about this?" Or "I've got a couple of ideas, and I'll try and do one at a time throughout the months."
Hmm.
And then some people will, provide a more detailed uh, group of information that I can use to as a jumping off point.
Hmm.
And then from there it's just a matter of research. Again, just googling, finding other. I will look at other blogs from other companies for sure, just to see what they're
Hmm.
writing about. I love to
Right.
find actual industry authorities as opposed to competing companies or companies that are doing the same thing.
Right.
I like to look at the actual experts, whether it's legal things or advocacy groups or just any kind of authoritative website, so I can get a more straightforward, kind of honest overview. And then from there, I just kind of sit down and write. We do have a process. We'll have a headline and a subhead and try and get the
Hmm.
keywords in there and the locations. And
Right.
then I'll do an introductory paragraph, and that's usually a great opportunity to slip one of those keywords in there. And then we try and
Yep.
break it down into different sections, because that's something else
Hmm.
that's good for the Google.
Yep.
Um, and I've just been doing this for a couple decades, so it
Hmm.
kind of comes naturally to put things in a certain logical order. And I try to be clear and make adjustments as I go. Something there are
Yep.
oftentimes, in my case, I will use a word that's just not in the right voice of the client. Usually a
Mm.
little too formal, a little too fancy,
Right.
a little too elevated, and so we try and make it a little bit more of a casual
Sure.
voice. And
That makes sense.
yeah, and then just get to the end, and usually have a little call to action at the end. Just something as simple
Yep.
as, give us a call today, and
Yep.
then I'll go through and I'll find those keywords that I've slipped in there, and I will link them to the client's
Hmm.
website. Hopefully,
Yep.
different pages on their website. In some cases, we have such a good existing bank of articles that have been written over the years that I can go and find a topic that addresses one of the things that I mentioned. And so if
Right.
somebody's reading that and go, oh, I want to know more about that, they can click on it and read a totally different article. So all of
Yep.
that is a way of engaging the customers. So again, if they see it and they click on the link and they get to the website, you want to keep them there, and you
Right.
want them to feel like they're getting to know your company.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Structured data.
Yes.
It's really what it comes down to. We have that specific structure that we
Mhm.
write in because that's what the Google machine wants.
Sure.
And it's just like humans. They want to understand the hierarchy of the article. Is really what
Yeah,
it comes down
yes,
to.
that's true, and people do like to see the copy broken up. You don't just want a
Hmm.
big chunk of copy, because nobody reads that.
Yeah.
I don't read that when I see it. It's just, you want to see individual paragraphs, and then
Yeah.
adding those little subheaders throughout
Right.
also helps break up the copy and make it feel more manageable to read.
Yep. Yep. And it's funny. It's kind of funny you say that. One big bleh. So I have received from clients a
Yes,
bleh. And it's like,
that's what I was referring to when I mentioned
yeah,
it before.
yep,
Like, look
I
at
know.
that.
And it's like, how the hell do I separate this? So then you got to really read what they're talking about, and you're like, okay, so we can separate it this way, and then you got to come up with those headings, and it's like, yeah. So it's
Yeah, there's a lot of cases
yeah,
in my life where I think, oh, I can do that. I'm happy to have that work, and I look at those and I go, ah, it's all you, Brian. Go for it.
yeah, and I just love it. Just love, to. So it's like it has to be done. And it's one of those that I don't want to burden you with stuff like that,
Sure.
because it's like I can do stupid stuff like that, right? And when I don't
Right.
mean stupid, but it's like mundane, I guess,
It's
yeah, I can
absolutely,
do that.
it's real busy
Yeah.
work. That is.
Yes, right. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So I just made it through all of our questions. So do you have anything else that you would like to expand on or,
No, I think
um,
we've really touched on that process. I think it is important that
yep.
people kind of have a better sense of what goes into copywriting, and I think how
Yep.
much care we take about
Right.
making it accurate and making it effective.
Yes.
Um, and just in general, just trying to help people out and drive traffic to the website. So
Yeah.
it's, for me, it's a balance
Yep.
of working in those keywords and then doing what I usually do, which is try and make fun,
Mhm.
readable copy.
Yep. And so far, everybody loves it. So,
Oh, good.
yeah. I mean, most of our clients, you get those people that come in for article, creation and stuff. They come and go. It is what it is. That's the way it is. But we also have those clients that just keep coming back for more because they
Right.
see the results, right? And and that's the difficult side on my side, I guess. The when I look and when I talk to these clients about and they want to get into SEO, right? That, oh, we got to do SEO. Well, you might not have to do an $800 a month service,
Right.
because I'm one of those. I'm not money hungry. It's like, um, I'm not going to take you in. Sure, let's get you right into that $800 a month.
It's not
When
upselling. You're not upselling people.
I'm not upselling it. It's there if we need it.
Yeah.
Um, the first step is always, well, let's put you in contact with Hannah, because we're going to do content marketing first. Create articles on your website. And we write those articles, like you said, with
Yep.
SEO in mind. And that alone is probably, honestly, going to bring your rankings up to where you want to be. And you can do 4 articles a month at, what would that be? 400 and something a month, instead of paying $800 a month for one article and then all that other technical
Right.
SEO stuff. Yeah.
Well, you certainly want to maximize your website before you're trying to do
Yes.
all the back end tricks and bells and
Yep.
whistles.
Yep, exactly. And when I build a website, so someone comes to us and I build the website, I build it with optimization in mind. So I
Sure.
do a little bit of research, get all the stuff that we need, and as I build the website out, I'm incorporating those SEO key phrases, keywords, right? And so they're getting an optimized website. Problem is, they have to keep something going, and
Sure.
a lot of people don't. And then they start, well, I'm just not getting any calls. Well, did you do anything to your website?
Yeah.
No. Like, well, that's why, because it's not
I think
found.
I know you're going to talk in another episode about social media, but
Yep.
that's another thing is if you go onto a social media page and you see that they haven't updated in 2 years, you think, is this business even existing anymore? Are they
Yep.
still they're still working?
Right.
So
Yep.
it's always good to show that you are awake and paying attention.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's another thing. We are going to be talking about that, and we might bring you in because you do some social media stuff, and we will definitely talk about that, because you get those clients that, I'm just not seeing any engagement. Well, that's because you have 20 followers.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And it's like, this stuff doesn't just go organically.
Just happen. Yes.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen anymore. So it's like, well, you're going to have to spend money. Oh my God. Yeah, you do. So it's kind of interesting when you start going down the social media front. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think this is pretty good. I really enjoyed this conversation with you, and I know you love talking to me.
I love talking on camera. I love having my voice recorded. But yeah, this is
Me
great. I
too.
appreciate the opportunity to explain.
Yep. So there you go. So this was Hannah Wallace, our copywriter extraordinaire, wordsmith.